All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. I got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. I keep this channel going because people seem to watch it. I don't care if I have 50 subscribers. Really, I don't. I made this channel to interact with everybody and, maybe to learn something myself. And if maybe one person learns something from what I say, then I'm happy to do it. I like to try to inform as many people out there as possible. So our only source of information, comparisons, that kind of thing is not the mainstream media, who obviously is warped with a one-track mind. We all know who they favor, who they don't. We know this. But as the years have gone by, some of the older players, not just the ones that I grew up watching, but even the older ones, they just keep getting dissed. Oh, they weren't athletic. You guys have heard all the junk about it, and it's stupid. So I like to keep reminding people about it, and until we get some real, actual, knowledgeable, unbiased, tell the truth kind of people in these media outlets, I'm going to keep doing what I do. And, there's a lot of good content creators on YouTube that, spread the message. So anyway, in this video here, what I was looking at is the offensive burden that Michael Jordan had to carry. Now, defensively, sure, the Bulls were a very good team for at least the second half of Jordan's career on the Bulls. They were great defensive team, one of the best ever. But he had to carry the offensive load. Now, everybody likes to make a big deal about, Scottie Pippen, he was so good, and, he was like a 1B and da-da-da-da, and all that. I've heard all this stuff before. And when it came to offensively, no. It's just not true. Pippen had his chance to be the solo star in '94, and he did have one series where he averaged 25.3 points a game against Cleveland. What were they, the 7 or 6 seed or whatever? Okay. But other than that, his numbers were, in line with or under when he played with Jordan. He wasn't a guy who was going to go out and get 30, 35 points in a series. He just didn't have that kind of game. Even though he did have a green light on that 94 Bulls team, he just didn't have the kind of game to shoot efficiently, to carry a team offensively like Jordan did. Well, I'm just going to give a few comparisons here to some other players. For example, Wilt Chamberlain. He won the scoring title the first 7 years of his career. Okay? In 1967, which would have been the 8th year of Wilt's career, he won the championship, had one of the best seasons of any team ever. I think they have the 5th best record all time, 68-13. In that season, though, in 1967, in the Eastern Conference semifinals against Cincinnati, Wilt Chamberlain was not the leading scorer. It was Hal Greer. Hal Greer averaged 28.5. Wilt was 28.0. So he had a teammate who could share the offensive load to win. You see what I'm saying? In the next round, in the Eastern Conference Finals, against Boston, obviously Wilt went up against, better competition under the rim with Bill Russell. Hal Greer averaged 29.2 points a game and Wilt 21.6. So again, he was winning series. He didn't need to be the leading scorer. In the finals, get this, Hal Greer 23.3, Chet Walker 23.3, Wally Jones 20.2, Billy Cunningham 19.7, and then Wilt Chamberlain 17.7. He was the 5th leading scorer on his team. So again, he didn't have a team where he won the championship, wasn't leading scorer in any of the playoff series that year, his first championship. And then in the next one that he won in 72, it was Jerry West and Gail Goodrich that were doing the bulk of the scoring there. And anyway, a player like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan played 48 series, I guess it was. 48 series. But I took out the last 11 because, he was older and was no longer, like the primary guy. So say from 1999 to 2012, the 37 playoff series he played in, he was the leading scorer in 24 out of the 37. There was 13 series, over a third. He was not the leading scorer. 1998 first round, the first playoff series he ever had. Tim Duncan averaged 20.3 points. Avery Johnson averaged 20.5. I could go on down the road, but I'll just name the players who led the Spurs in a series that Tim Duncan played in. Avery Johnson twice, David Robinson, Ginobili, Parker, Ginobili and Parker over Duncan, and that was in like 2008. Parker, Ginobili, Parker and Ginobili, Parker and Ginobili. All those times I just named, somebody other than Tim Duncan led the team in scoring in that particular series. So again, he didn't need to carry the offensive load. All right, how about Hakeem Olajuwon? Now he had a situation similar to Jordan's, but not quite as bad. In his 27 series, I didn't count like the last couple again when he's older and all that, but his very first series in 1986, Hakeem averaged 20.0 points a game. Ralph Sampson averaged 20.3. So he had a guy like a co-leader scoring. In 1990, Otis Thorpe 20 points a game. Vernon Maxwell 19.8, Hakeem 18.5. Now granted, they lost. And then in the 1996 Western Conference semifinals, now Olajuwon was battling injury problems, but Drexler was the leading scorer in that series by 1 point. So of his 27, there was 3 series he was not the leading scorer. Okay. How about Larry Bird? Larry Bird in his 33 series. I think he actually played 36, but I didn't count his last few. He had players like Vernon Maxwell in the 81 finals, won finals MVP, was leading scorer, 17.7 to Bird's 15.3. In 1982, Eastern Conference semifinals, Robert Parrish, 23.4, Vernon Maxwell, 17.4, Larry Bird, 17.2. In the 84 Eastern Conference Finals, Kevin McHale, 21.2, Bird, 20.8. 84 finals that they won, McHale, 26.0, Bird, 23.8. 86 finals, McHale, 25.8, Bird, 24.0. It was the same way in 88. It was McHale. In 1990 and 91, Reggie Lewis in both those. So again, 8 of the 33 rounds, somebody other than Larry Bird was the leading scorer. That must be nice. Even LeBron James, LeBron James being the point forward, the guy who always has the ball in his hand, who's, takes the most shots by far and all that. In his 54 series, he didn't lead his team in all 54 series. No, sir. We all know about the 2011 finals, but the 2011 Eastern Conference semifinals, Dwayne Wade, 30.2 points against Boston. LeBron, 28.0. The 2011 finals, Dwayne Wade, 26.5. Chris Bosh, 18.5. LeBron, 17.8. 2016 first round, that's a championship year. Kyrie Irving, 27.5. LeBron James, 22.8. Must be nice to just have a guy go out there and get you 26 to 30 points like he had teammates to do. 2020 first round, Anthony Davis, 29.8. LeBron James, 27.4. 2020 Western Conference Finals, Anthony Davis, 31.2. LeBron James, 27.0. So there was 5 series that LeBron James did not lead his team in scoring. Again, that must be nice. And in 2011, he got to the finals in those years. 2016 won the championship. 2020 won the championship. So it must be nice to have a teammate that can pick up the scoring slack. Either you're struggling or just to have a nice option. Like, you take over tonight. Must be great. And let's get to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, in his 37 series, led the Bulls in scoring in 37 series. Never did anybody outscore Jordan. And again, yeah, Jordan shot a lot. But if there was somebody who could shoot as efficiently, Jordan to give the ball up to him. Look at the 91 finals. I just did a video about that today. He was passing the ball to John Paxson. He had a hot hand. He was hitting. Paxson did really well. He had some good scoring game. I think he had like an 18, a 21, a 17. He was scoring. This guy averaged like 8 points a game. But Jordan would easily back off if there was somebody that was hot. The closest series that any Michael Jordan teammate ever came to was the 1997 Eastern Conference semifinals. And that was against Atlanta. Michael Jordan averaged 26.6 points per game. That was probably one of his lower ones. In fact, it might be his lowest. Scottie Pippen averaged 22.2. So that's still a 4.4 point per game difference. That's as close as anybody got. And you can look at other players. We already know Bill Russell had a plethora of scorers on his team. Magic Johnson had multiple scorers on his team. Everybody points to Kareem and Worthy. Well, he had other players too. Norm Nixon was getting him 17 points a game there for the first 4 seasons of his career. And not to mention, did you know that Magic Johnson and Kareem's last championship season, who was the leading scorer on that team? 1988, Los Angeles Lakers. Who do you think it was? I'll pause for a moment. Who was it? Okay, it wasn't Worthy, it wasn't Magic, and it wasn't Kareem. It was Byron Scott was the leading scorer on that championship team. So, again, plethora of weapons and people to choose from. And I already went through Duncan and Olajuwon and Wilt Chamberlain. Shaq, he would have alternated between Kobe a lot. Obviously, Dwayne Wade was a leading scorer in Miami, not Shaq. But the one constant, even Dr. J, sometimes it was Moses Malone. But the one constant was Michael Jordan. He did not have the luxury of having somebody like a Moses Malone or a Shaq or a Dwayne Wade or a Kyrie Irving or an Anthony Davis. He didn't have a Robert Parrish or a Kevin McHale. He did not have somebody who could go out and get you 26, 28, 30 points a game. It just didn't happen. So anyway, that's about it for this video. I know everybody already knew this, but how it compared to some of the other all-time greats and the specifics of it, it was really telling. I was like, there's got to be one series where somebody was close to Jordan on the Bulls. There just wasn't. Like I said, the 97 Eastern Conference semifinals against Atlanta is the closest, and it was still 4.4 points away. So anyway, that's it for this video. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.